What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. Another episode of Make the Right Play. We are here. It's live Wednesday night. The coach, as always, on my left here at studio. And as always, we got your Bowie Media behind the camera. Shout out your Bowie Media for all your media needs here in Pensacola, Florida. And coach, oh my goodness, I feel like I say the same thing every week, and that's because I do say the same thing every week, and that's because it seems like things never change. It's always crazy town all the time, always crazy. What's going on, coach? How we doing?
Honestly, I'm doing fantastic, to be honest with you.
You're doing fantastic. You were pretty fired up for the show this week. I think you were very excited to get going.
Well, today the most exciting thing happened. We had a vendor stop by the house, and he said, I've seen you do a podcast. I've seen it on TikTok. And I was like,
I've seen it on TikTok, yes.
So, a shout out to Rocky, who does an excellent job on all your lighting needs.
All your lighting needs in the Pensacola, Escambia County area and further beyond. I'm not really sure.
So if you want beautiful lights,
yes,
call Rocky.
Call Rocky. Well, I appreciate that. He's seeing us on our socials. Make sure you guys go and follow us on our socials. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on Truth Social now. Go follow us. We're on Rumble. Yeah, well, they know we're on Rumble. They're watching us on Rumble, for Christ's sake. They know we're on it. But yeah, I mean, make sure you guys are following our pages. Share it. Send it out to people. We want to hear you guys' reactions. Make sure you send us messages. Get involved in chat. We love it. We love it. But, Coach, it feels like we're, there's just so many things to talk about. We've had executive orders, one after the other, and including getting rid of paper straws. I think that was the most exciting one, getting rid of the paper straws, for Christ's sake. Can't stand those things.
Well, it's so funny because Gabriel, who's like the ultimate lib, was like, I love this. And then Presley was like, did you see what Trump did? He got rid of the paper straws.
Oh, my God.
Because he's my metal straw, and he's a big conservative. He's the one who like goes out there, and he's a big, but he didn't like that. But I was like, and I'm thrilled. I'm happy to be
hear
able to
a lot of talk about the biodegradable straws. I think I would get in. No, I take that back. Just go back to the plastic straws. I really don't think it makes that much of a difference. Get on the plastic straw. For all us fatties out there that love the McDonald's, get back to the plastic straws, for Christ's sake.
Well, how about
all
me?
Right? God.
You know I'm a drinker. So when I go to the restaurant and I get a drink and then they put my straw, they want me to like reuse it and it's paper. I'm like, no, I need a fresh one. I said if you had a plastic one, I could reuse it. But with this paper straw, I need a new straw every time.
Well, you're more of a Cosmo liker. You don't usually use a straw when you get the Cosmo.
In the summer months.
In the summer months?
When
the occasional margarita?
Margarita, and I love like those shipwrecked and like all those drinks at the beach at Pensacola. They're the best, honestly. Like if you want to party, you come to Florida, baby.
It's true. It's true. You come.
Really. But
party season's coming.
We're literally 3 weeks into the Trump administration, and it feels like 3 years. I have to be honest.
It does.
It feels like a huge cloud and weight has been lifted, and I feel like there's a great awakening going on. Like people are actually seeing
great awakening,
like the truth that's happening in front of them. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I think people, you're always going to have those revolters, those Democrats who are just so hateful and won't ever get on board. But I do think that there are people that are seeing like, oh man, maybe he's right. Maybe he's ready to get things done. Listen,
Tulsi Gabbard is in, right?
Yep.
She was the head of the Democrat National Party. Like she was the chairperson for the DNC.
She was the chair of the DNC?
She was the chair of the DNC. And you know what happened? She saw they were stealing the primary from Bernie Sanders because she was rooting for Bernie Sanders, but she saw that they were stealing it.
So she's a commie.
And they were like, listen, if you try to cause problems for Hillary, your career is over. And she said, listen, I'm not going to be part of a party that is corrupt.
Yeah.
And do you know what that low-life Bernie Sanders did today?
What did he do?
He voted against Tulsi. They have no integrity in the Democrat Party. Here this woman ruined her career going to bat for him, saying what you're doing to him is wrong, and then that stupid old man votes against her. The DNC has no integrity.
Mitch McConnell voted against her too.
Oh, well, Mitch McConnell's a prick. Who cares about him? But Bernie, you would think she ruined his career for him.
Yeah.
I mean, she ruined her career for him. But it looks like RFK, he's going to be the new health secretary. Things are moving along, man. He went through Senate today.
I hope so. I hope that he gets the confirmation. I mean, don't you want to look ripped like him at 70 years old? I mean, for Christ's sake, he looks great.
Please, I'm 50. I wish I was ripped like him. I'm like turning into a veal, just laying around resting my Achilles.
Listen,
I tell my husband, I said, I feel like a veal.
Gotta rest. That's what you got to do. That's what I mean. That's,
I know, it's so hard though.
We're at that time. You got to just rest it out, get better. I mean, that's
Carlos,
what we need.
Did you hear about the new House Oversight Committee that announced a task force on declassification of federal secrets?
No, actually, I didn't hear about this story. This is interesting. What do you got here?
9/11, Jeffrey Epstein, the JFK files, the RFK assassination, the MLK Jr. assassination, the origins of COVID-19, UFOs, you name it, they're going to look into it.
All right.
I mean, she even said, she goes, yeah, we're looking at the JFK, and there were 2 shooters. Just came right out, like all nonchalantly about it.
About JFK?
About JFK.
Wow.
I should have gotten that tape. Now, that's a tape since you're so surprised that you would have found it.
Tape, yeah.
Her name is Ana Paulina Luna. You know, now that I think about it.
Say that name one more time for me.
Ana Paulina Luna. She said, we've been treated like children for far too long, and the federal government has kept information of public interest classified. And her job, she's planning on declassifying everything. So what do
you think, Bush 9/11? Yeah?
No, I don't want to go there because I don't feel like being depressed. All right, I don't like to talk 9/11 because I literally had a view of the World Trade Center out my kitchen window. You don't like to
talk 9/11. You can never talk about 9/11.
Yeah, but you know what? There's no way the Democrats can keep up with this, baby.
No.
There is no way.
No, they can't. I mean, they could keep trying to parade down the streets and get fired up, but they can't keep it up. I mean, his approval rating is so great, but that's because he does what he says. He does what he says. You know, it's so funny. Every time you turn on the news, they keep yelling about a constitutional crisis. A constitutional crisis. Every channel, they all have their script. Mm-hmm. Here's your script. There's a constitutional crisis. But let's play video 1 to see what the American people think about Trump. All right, let's go. Clip 1.
I think one of the things that's so important for politicians is for folks to believe what they're saying and that they're keeping their campaign promises. So I think this gives you a pretty gosh darn good idea of what may be going on. Trump's doing what he promised to do. You go back to April of 2017, it was just 46% of all Americans who said that Trump was doing what he promised to do. Compare that now to February of 2025. You know, there was a good show that was on during the 1990s called A Different World. That is what's going on right now. We're living in a different world. 70% of Americans say Trump is doing what he promised to do. Again, compare that to April of 2017 when it's just 46%. When Americans are 24 points more likely to say that you're doing what you promised to do, it's no wonder that your net approval rating is much more likely to be on the positive side of the ledger than on the negative side. And so far, what we're seeing, again, is Americans, 21 days so far, versus just 11 days during his entire first term, that Trump has a positive net approval rating. Quite a different world. Quite a different world. That means stop lying, media. This is a different world. It's a different world. Wake up, honey. It's a different world, Coach. And I mean, but he's right. He came in. He's like, I'm making the Department of Government Efficiency. We're going to go through the books. We're going to audit that shit. We're going to figure out where the money's going. I'm going to end the war with Palestine and Israel. We're going to make peace. He's making peace right there by just taking Gaza. What a play there by a man. And then now he's making peace in Ukraine. I mean, he's doing everything he said he's going to do. And he's doing the tariffs that he said he was going to do. Like, he is just saying, this is what I'm doing. He's a straight shooter, and that's it. And you know what, Carlos? You would think that the Democrats would be so excited about this. No, of course not. You would think that they would say, oh my gosh, we're going to have money for the poor people in this country. Yeah. But what made me die laughing is we have to play video 2 when the Democratic Congress people tried to raid the Department of Education. Oh my gosh. Of course, because you're trying to audit their little, stash. Their money stash. Let's go clip 2. The money laundering operation.
We're members of Congress. The Democrats have lost their minds and they've lost their confidence. They have very little confidence. They are different people.
They're different people.
Foolish. Today they tried to break into the Department of Education just because we want to go and check the books. And Maxine Waters is a lunatic, and they're all lunatics. Frankly, it's so sad to see.
Watch this. I love this guy.
We're members of Congress. I have
Look at the Band-Aid on this
I
dude's
think he
neck.
regrets the Band-Aid.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough look. He probably got that from his, like, daughter's
I
bathroom
think
or
like
something.
his 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Shit, all these, this is the only Band-Aids left in the house, honey?
Honey, we don't have any tan ones?
Alerting her that we would be here today, and we've asked her for a meeting.
Yeah, that's been accepted, so until that's accepted.
I don't know if that's accepted. He's just like,
You know what's
I'm not
so
letting you
funny?
in.
As I'm watching that guy and I'm thinking, what did he do in his life to earn the spot of standing there at that very moment with all those angry Democrats in his face? Like, I feel
It's a
like
tough
that
job.
guy did
It's a tough
something
job.
to like have that bad luck.
Yeah, no, for real. That's like, that's tough. That's a tough job. He's probably, and then he's got the freaking kid Band-Aid on.
I know.
Looking like an
then he's on
idiot.
TV as a kid Band-Aid.
It's
and
tough.
They were yelling.
It's
and
tough
then,
sledding for that guy.
Oh my gosh, Maxine Waters, show me your ID. Show me your ID.
Oh my God!
She was
And he
crazy.
shows him like the blank ID. This isn't good enough. This isn't gonna work for me.
And then she's like, show it to me again. And he's like, I already showed you. I'm not showing it to you again. Ask him to show. I mean, the whole, like, they were there for hours yelling and screaming. And I'm like, they almost seem like teenagers who are like hysterical when you know, like you're caught lying, right?
Yeah.
And it's like they're hysterical. They're giving you a million stories. They're trying to give you anything they can come up with because they know they're busted. And they just become hysterical.
Yeah.
I mean, the government mismanagement, I can't understand why they would be so upset about DOGE conducting an audit of the U.S. Treasury. I don't understand. There's mismanagement.
You know,
there's no doubt that there's mismanagement.
Well,
going on.
the more I think about it, and the more I'm like, oh, why would they be so like worried and so against this? And part of it is, they're going to get caught with all the money laundering that they're doing and all the bad things that they're doing with taxpayer money, with American workers' dollars. They are worried, I think, of the riots and the aftermath that can happen from this. Right? Because when you figure out where your money is going and whose pockets it's going into and the amount of money laundering, think about all those taxes that are coming out of your paycheck each week. Like, I know I'm paying at least like $200 a week or $200 a paycheck just going to taxes. Like, that's what, 200, right? And then you get how many paychecks a month? You get 2 a month, so 400 a month times 12.
Listen, Carlos.
That's a ton of money you're going to the
I
government.
think they're worried about going to jail. I don't think they're worried about the American
think about the
people
country.
rioting.
The country could burn down from something like this. Like, it really could. Think about all the
I don't
taxes
know.
you pay.
Are you gonna
and
go
it's going
burn
to
down
crap.
the country?
Yeah, I'm fucking pissed. I'm telling you, I'm fucking pissed. I know you're like, oh, fuck that. But like, think about all the money you're losing out every year.
Listen,
going to bullshit. Going to
that's not-
fucking put illegals in luxury hotels.
Listen, we're not destructive people. We're not the type of people that are going to go out and decide that we're going to burn the country down because
Burn
we're
it down.
pissed off.
Burn it down.
Trump
Think
is
about
doing
the
a good
theft.
job.
The theft.
Listen, we're going to have a lot of fun watching their organizations being toppled, like USAID. I mean, did you see that they actually gave a scholarship to, what's his name? To
American-born jihadist
Anwar Awlaki.
Awlaki.
He went to Colorado State University in 1990, full ride.
Full ride.
And responsible for something that happened in 9/11.
Yeah, that's-
and he recruited people
US
while
tax
he was
dollars
in
paid for that.
college to be terrorists.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen to an organization like that? It's going to be toppled. So isn't it better rather than to burn
We'll
down
see.
a building
We'll see
and
if
have
it's
the
toppled. We'll see. We'll see if it's
Well,
toppled.
I don't know. I have a lot of faith.
It may be toppled now, but then, if they voted in another communist Democrat into the office, then what happens? He's going to put it right back in place.
I don't think I think the American people are waking up. I mean, Trump said that they were even paying for the Gallup poll. So that means that they were steering a lot of people into thinking their way without them even realizing that they were being brainwashed. I mean, I always knew that people were being brainwashed because I could see things that are right in front of me. But for a lot of people, they see things on the news and they just like, take it.
Right.
Like, like the jab. Oh, yeah, they said it's safe. I'm just going to take it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, COVID, stay 6 feet. I'm just going to take it. Yeah, mask stop. Like, people just take their marching orders, and they're good with doing that. But I think now people are going to be a little more skeptical of what the government is talking about. And I think that taking away their piggy bank is worse than going and starting a riot, and we end up in jail, and they don't go to jail. I think they need to go to jail.
My only hope is that, when you get rid of the Department of Education, you start getting rid of some of these, dumb thinkers, these people that just blindly follow orders and not think for themselves and figure out the bullshit that's right in front of them. That's what you got to hope, right? Because that's the Department of Education has trained generations to think that way ever since Carter.
I call it the Department of Indoctrination, not the Department of Education.
It's true.
And let me tell you, we used to be number one in the world when they put together the Department of Education.
Right.
And now I was going through some of the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're 28th out of 37 for the Program for International Student Assessment.
Yep.
According to Business Insider, the U.S. was 38th for math, 24th for science out of 71 countries. The Global Education Index by the United Nations in 2022, we placed 13th globally. The Department of Education is a failure because they're not teaching kids how to think. They're teaching kids what to think.
Correct.
And
correct.
that is the problem.
That's 100% right. That's exactly how they're doing it. They're not creating independent thinking minds for themselves. They're just creating this is what's up. And the guilt too, the American guilt. Oh, we need to be so guilty, this and that. It's like, listen, the winners write the history books. Somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. I don't want to hear the bullshit about the Indian crap anymore. I'm over that shit.
Oh, you mean with the Native Americans?
Yeah, we're the Americans, we need to be all guilty because we came and took the land. That's crap.
What you learn from history. I think that you say, okay, we did some things that were bad and we're going to learn and we're going to be better people.
It's American guilt. It's American guilt. That's what they want.
Well, Carlos, I don't think there's anything wrong with atoning for one's sins, which I think we're going to have to do a lot of that because DOGE needs to go in there and see the evil things that we've been doing as a country, like toppling governments, like creating wars, and we need to atone for our sins. We need to ask God for forgiveness and try to become better people for it. So there's nothing wrong with teaching kids what the history is, but then you need to be critical thinkers of how to go forward being better, not
we'll see.
as a church, I'm a horrible American. Let me flail myself every day. I'm a horrible American. That's wrong. You can't do that.
But the way that they're gonna say, oh, we need to atone and be better is by being like communist assholes. That's how they're gonna want to teach.
Well, let me tell you, those days are over because we're in the golden age, baby. We're in the golden age. We're not gonna be living a life full of guilt anymore.
We'll see what happens.
Those days are over because there's God's side and the other side, and the other side panhandles guilt. God's side makes you want to use the talents that he's given you to be a better person. And hopefully that'll unify the country. And then we'll stop being so divided. It won't be black, white, gay, straight. It'll be who loves God, who wants to live a good life, who wants to do things and look after their brother. And then those will be our best friends.
Who loves God,
Those will be our brothers and sisters. That's what it's about.
Well, you know who doesn't love God?
Who?
Is Elizabeth Warren.
Oh my gosh! Is
Talk
she
about
a wackadoo
she is just losing it. Assaulted a poor guy in the street.
We have to show video 3 of Elizabeth Warren.
All right, let's go clip 3. This was unbelievable.
Shut down.
So Senator Warren, why are you so afraid of transparency? Why are you bothered by the fact that Elon Musk is attempting to expose all of this fraudulent spending? What is that about? What is the problem here? What is the problem with transparency? Do not touch me. Do not touch me. Senator Warren, I just want to answer a question. How did you get a $12 million net worth on a $200,000 salary in Congress? How did you do that?
Excuse me.
How did you do that? You can keep trying to block my camera. We're on a public sidewalk, so get off of me. So you don't want to answer that question. What is it about DOGE that's such a problem to you? You just elbowed me, Senator. I got that on camera.
Thank you.
Transparency is your enemy.
You just elbowed me, Senator. I got that on camera.
Well, you know what? I'd like to know how she did that.
Yeah.
How do you go from making $200,000 a year and have $12 million? Like, how does that happen?
A lot of
That's
people,
a very good question.
A lot of people want to know. A lot of people want to know the answer to that question. And Elon wants to know the answer to that question. And I thought he put it perfectly in the Oval Office. I think we should jump to that clip real quick.
Let's do it.
Let's go to that clip. Let's go clip 20. Because the Democrats are...
We demand Elon Musk to be removed from any role at the Treasury Department.
And also, could you mention some of the things that your team has found, some of the crazy numbers, including the woman that walked away with about 30 million?
Right. Well, we do find it sort of rather odd that there are quite a few people in the bureaucracy who have ostensibly a salary of a few $100,000, but somehow manage to accrue tens of millions of dollars in net worth while they are in that position, which is, what happened to USAID. We're just curious as to where it came from. Maybe they're very good at investing, in which case we should take their investment advice, perhaps. But just there seems to be mysteriously they get wealthy. We don't know why. Where does it come from? And I think the reality is that they're getting wealthy at the taxpayer expense. That's the
taxpayer expense.
So.
Exactly, at the taxpayer expense. That's the shit that gets people crazy. Like, that gets people fired up, that the taxpayer is poor and is just continuing to pay, and then the public servant is the one getting rich. Makes it crazy.
I would like to know what kind of investments they're doing, because I would like to, how many people are making $200,000 combined with the husband working, the wife working, they're busting their ass every day, and they don't have $12 million in the bank. They're just scraping to get by.
Exactly.
They're just scraping to get by.
Yeah.
So how does one become a millionaire working in government making $200,000 a year?
Insider trading.
They're a bunch of thieves.
Yeah.
They're stealing the money, and that's why they don't want DOGE to go and figure out what's going on. That's why they're against the audits.
Yeah, they're stealing the money, and I think they're manipulating the money too, because I think there's a lot of insider trading. There's a lot of things that they know, and they they go and make these moves. There's a lot of inside crap that's going on that we don't know about, but hopefully with DOGE that we'll be able to figure it out. And he's taking it right to the Dems.
They'll put Martha Stewart's ass in jail when they think she's insider trading, but for them, they'll know, we're going to pass this law, time to go invest.
Yep.
So when the law gets passed, they'll make a lot of money. They've been doing that for years. But what I find really disgusting is what Elon discovered over the weekend about FEMA. That FEMA sent $59 million to house the illegal immigrants in New York City. Yet we had people freezing in the tents in North Carolina for months.
Yep.
What the hell is that all about?
I saw that article,
honestly.
and that was just unbelievable. But I mean, that's, it all goes back to, what we knew. We knew that they were doing stuff like this. We knew that they were just manipulating the money, that they were money laundering. And this is where, we're starting to see where this is going. We talked about this earlier when we started, doing this show back in August, when we started doing it with Yabui thing, and it was looking professional. Like, we knew, like, these migrants, they live and they get all these things to them for free. And now we're seeing that FEMA was footing the bill. God only knows how many millions of dollars that FEMA put to them while the people were suffering from Hurricane Helene. God only knows what the true number is. We just saw the 60 million because DOGE picked it out.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only reason we saw that.
And they're still trying to deny it. Well, that was only some for the hotels, but then it paid for other things. Listen, I was in New York over the summer.
Yeah.
And what was so disgusting is that you had so many people staying in all those hotels in Midtown Manhattan that if you wanted to go get a hotel room, it cost a fortune because there were no hotel rooms for the regular people.
Right.
Then Eric Adams, who actually really loves New York City, he genuinely loves New York.
Yeah.
Tries to go and talk to Joe Biden and says, listen, we can't keep having all these illegals coming to New York. It's killing us. They sick the Department of Justice after him.
Yeah.
Right? So he actually really cares about New York. They sick the Department of Justice on him. And then what gets me so upset is now the people in New York are pissed off at him because he's actually getting along with Donald Trump.
Of course he is.
These people are so stupid. Like, there's no other word for it. You're so stupid. Here you have a mayor who actually cared, tried to advocate for the city, and the Department of Justice was sicked on him by Biden. And now Trump is working with him. New York already looks 10 times better. I'll send him the TikToks. We don't have it for the show, but you could see New York, like all the street vendors are gone.
Yeah.
All the loitering has stopped. They're going to have to get everybody out of those hotels. People are getting deported. Things are getting cleaned up. And they're mad at Eric Adams because he's getting along with Trump. Are you stupid? Are you really that stupid?
They're bitter. They're bitter, and and some of them are that stupid. Some of them actually are that stupid. Which I saw Eric Adams he's like, hey, maybe I got to switch over to GOP.
Well, maybe
join the Republican Party and just walk away.
You know what it is?
Hashtag walk away, Brandon Straka.
Yes, Brandon Straka, walk away.
Hashtag walk away.
There's God's side and there's the other side. So if you really love New York and you really love the people in New York City, you are going to choose the side that's going to take care of New York City. You are not going to choose the side that's going to destroy a city that you love.
But you know what this actually makes me think of too, and this is what we talked about last week in our show last Wednesday, was how the deep state just feels that they could do whatever they want.
This
goes right back to what we were talking about in the clips that we showed last week. Is if we don't agree with the agenda, we're not going to do it. We don't care. We're we could do whatever we want, and it's just another set of proof right there is that they feel that they could just do whatever they want, no consequences whatsoever, and that's the kind of lawless society we're living in right now.
But there's one difference though. Trump knows how to fire people. So when those FEMA people sent out that payment, Trump was like, you're fired, baby. And he fired the 4 people. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Trump fired those people. They disobeyed an executive order. Do you get to keep your job if you don't listen to your boss?
It's true.
But, only if you're a bureaucrat in Washington.
It's funny. It makes me think, too. And this is what really makes it interesting, right? Is how they, how are they paying these illegal immigrants? All this money, right? They're getting all this money. Well, how is that even happening? And this is what's interesting, right? Elon tweeted, just learned that Social Security database is not deduplicated, meaning you can have the same Social Security number as many times over, which further enables massive fraud. And then I learned that there are 10,000 illegals using the same exact Social Security number.
Well, it almost makes it seem like I don't even understand how that's possible.
Yeah.
But there's a guy, I found a video number 5, your buoy, of a man explaining what they do and why.
Yeah, all right, let's go. Clip 5. That's it. That's a good clip.
They will bring in hundreds of illegals. They will spread them out across all of these plants and factories, giving them jobs. They're all using the same Social Security number. The IRS unconnected our names from the Social Security number. Now when you look it up, it just pings to see if there's an employer. If there is, it says it's good, it validates it. Why do they do that? Because all of these factories are giving them Social Security numbers. The government turns its back on it. As soon as you have a Social Security number and you go over to motor voter, pass the driver's court test, right? You get a driver's license. The person looks, you got a social, you must be a citizen. That's how they pack the rolls. By the way, those guys don't pay taxes anyway. It's taken out by companies. Our government's been sitting on $1.7 trillion slush fund that one fund has still in it to this day.
It's incredible.
It really is.
It's incredible. And that would explain why Arizona always has these voter
irregularities.
Thank you.
Irregularities.
Thank you.
See, I knew where you were going with that. I got you. That's being a good teammate out there. But yeah, it's just, it amazes me that we're in 2025 and you can still get away with bullshit like that. We're having 10,000 people have the same Social Security number. How does that happen?
Because they're illegal.
I see, articles all the time too of these people that are dead. They've been dead for like 15 years and they're still getting paid Social Security.
Well, did you hear?
What the fuck? Like,
he said that there was one person getting welfare who was 150 years old.
Yeah.
He said that person should be in the Guinness Book of World Records because to be 150 years old, my gosh, who is this person? And then the media gets mad at him.
Right.
They get mad at him and they're like, well, where's the proof? Where's the proof? Where's the proof? Right? That's what Anderson Cooper was bitching about later that night.
Oh my gosh,
and the guy's like, well, he's in the Oval Office. Who do you expect him to have a 10,000-page report? It's been 24 days. He doesn't have all the paperwork to show you while he's standing in the Oval Office explaining what's going on.
Right.
And Anderson Cooper got so pissed off, he called him a dick.
Yeah, don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
I saw that. Yeah, that was good.
And I'm like, these people are so frustrated because their lies are not working anymore.
Right.
People know, and they know it's the truth. They know, they feel it. This is exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
And the problem is that the Democrats are pissed because they're going to find even more fraud.
Right.
And that's 100%. How these people are becoming millionaires. They're stealing it.
Yep.
Don't kid yourself. They are stealing it.
Well, DOGE and the U.S. Treasury Department have agreed to the following order to make sense of the spending, which is good because this is what they need to be doing, right? They need to start tracking the money because that's what you have to do now. You have to track the money. Where is the money going? So they're going to require that all outgoing government payments have a payment categorization code, which is necessary in order to pass financial audits. This was usually frequently left blank, making the audits almost impossible to do. So all payments also must include a rationale for the payment in the common field. So basically they got to just say, why they're making this payment. They have to have some sort of excuse or some reason for what's happening with the payment. There's a do not pay list of entities that are known to be fraudulent or known to people who are actually dead. So thank God for that. I mean, they're tracking the money, guys. This is what we need to have happen. They need to track the money.
Updated daily.
Yes.
Like if there's a do not pay, that should be daily, not weekly. And do not pay. But right now they still pay them.
Well, hire some Americans to figure that out. Hire some Americans.
Come on.
Yeah.
Well, he did hire some Americans, actually. And the nerds are figuring it out. It's the nerd versus the theater kids right now.
The nerd and the jocks take on the theater kids.
But listen, this is common sense.
Right.
This is super obvious and necessary. These changes have to be implemented by existing long-term career government employees.
Right.
Not anyone from DOGE. It is ridiculous that these changes don't already exist. This is all what Elon Musk said.
Yeah.
And then during his fact-finding mission, he was told that there are currently over $100 billion a year of entitlement payments to individuals with no social security number or even a temporary ID number. This is suspicious, right?
Yeah.
This is extremely suspicious. This should come with scary music.
There are currently over $100 billion a year of entitlement payments to individuals with no social security number. I mean, that is just crazy, man. Like, that is just crazy. $100 billion a year in entitlement payments to individuals with no number. Like, what the fuck, man?
Exactly.
Like, what is that? How do you get on that? How do you get on that list? I want some of that $100 billion in entitlement payments.
Listen.
Do I gotta get rid of my number or something? Like, do I gotta go ghost to get some of that money?
No,
like, come on,
it's
bro.
good not being a thief. You don't want to be a thief.
Like, that's some BS.
And then Elon asked them, he asked the people in the Treasury, what's your rough guess? What percentage do you think is money that is just fraudulent? They said about $50 billion a year. $50 billion a year, about $1 billion weekly.
It's 52 weeks in a year. Like, okay.
Yeah, he's like about $1 billion weekly. So this is unacceptable. So you would think that everybody would be like, this is great news that somebody is doing this.
Right, somebody's figuring it out.
Who can argue with this? This is common sense.
Well,
That's what this
the
is.
Democrats, I mean, they're ready to, riot in the streets about figuring out where the money's going.
You know, I had to look up the definition of common sense.
You look it up. What is it?
Common sense is a noun and is defined as the ability to think and behave in a reasonable way to make good decisions.
Who wrote that? Glenn Beck?
Merriam Dictionary. So,
All right.
isn't looking into the government mismanagement a good thing?
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
Are the government workers more powerful than the president? That you can say, no, I'm sorry, you don't want to pay terrorists, and it's like you're going to pay them because that's just the way that we've been doing business for the last 50 years? Is that a good thing?
You would think. You would think that's a good thing. No, most people would be like, yeah, I'm on board for that.
Well, that's what we voted for, right? When we voted for Donald Trump, that's what we voted for. So why are the Democrats working so hard to try to stop DOGE? Why?
Honestly?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's because they know that when this stuff is revealed and they reveal how full of shit they are, they'll never win another election again. I think they'll be ran out of town.
If I was a Democrat, what I would do is I'd want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
Yeah.
So I would pull a Tulsi Gabbard, or I would pull an RFK Jr., and I would be like, listen, let me be part of the process. Let me help you with DOGE. Let's get to the bottom of things. I'm not a crook. I want to find out what's going on.
Yep.
If these people had any integrity, that's what they would be doing.
100%.
There's no way that they would be going for all this fraud and just fighting and saying, how dare you try to do this?
Well, because they don't have any integrity is always the problem.
This is the real threat to democracy, okay? This is a constitutional crisis that all the Democrats are trying to do is stand in the way of the real will of the people and getting unelected judges with a swipe of their pen to try to go against Trump and every single thing that him and DOGE and the American people's will.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing right now. And it's disgusting.
But I do believe that people are starting to wake up and see that that's what they're doing. They're starting to, see the proof is in the pudding, right? They're starting to see the evidence that's right in front of their face.
I believe you, because everybody that I talk to, they're all like, I'm not going to fight with the government if they want to try to find fraud. I know I'll get audited. I think the government should get audited too. I mean, I used to be an auditor for market data services to make sure that people were paying the exchanges, that they were paying for the data that they were using. Like, people have to be held accountable. People have to be held to be honest. But
people like Harry Balls are going to make sure that takes place. People like Harry Balls.
Well, I'll tell you, Elon has a sense of humor.
Oh, he sure does.
So let's see video 6, because I thought this was funny.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, no, that's all right.
Oh, our stream is live on air. Check us out on Rumble.
Rumble, follow. Yes, video 6.
Now, the disruptor-in-chief, Elon Musk, who apparently has adopted the alias, at least he changed his social media handle to Harry Balls, tweeted this morning, democracy in America is being destroyed by judicial coup. An activist judge is not a real judge.
Truth. That's truth. An activist judge is not a real judge.
Yeah.
Because you're skirted. You're not, being, impartial. You're skirted.
It's right in your face. These people have no integrity. So we have to go to video 7 and 8 and 9 to show what the Democrats do when they don't agree with judges.
Yes, perfect.
Has been thought, I believe, given to this. Senator Ron Wyden has already issued statements, for example, advising what we should do in a situation like this, which I concur, which is that I believe that the Biden administration should ignore this ruling. I think that we
ignore the courts.
The courts have the legitimacy, and they rely on the legitimacy of their rulings. And what they are currently doing is engaged in an unprecedented and dramatic erosion of the legitimacy of the courts. It is the justices themselves, through the deeply partisan and unfounded nature of these rulings, that are undermining their own enforcement.
So you're saying the Biden administration should ignore this court, but what does that look like? What does that actually mean?
I think the interesting thing when it comes to a ruling is that it relies on enforcement. And it is up to the Biden administration to choose whether or not to enforce such a ruling.
You overstep your authority? I think the court misinterpreted the Constitution.
Mr. President, when you need a savior in Afghanistan.
I love the clueless look right here. Look. What? I love that's my favorite.
Tens of millions of people's debt was literally about to get canceled. But then some of my Republican friends and elected officials and special interests sued us. And the Supreme Court blocked us. But that didn't stop us. No, I mean it sincerely. We continue to find alternatives passed to reduce student debt payments.
Find alternatives around the courts. Beat the courts.
And you know what's so funny? They asked Trump, they said, now that these judges are against you, what are you going to do? You're going to go against the will of the judge? He said, no. I'm going to listen to the judge, and I'm going to win on appeal.
Right.
It's just frustrating because it's going to slow me down. I'm thinking, slow you down? It's been 27 days.
You've been nonstop, brother. I can't keep up. We can't keep up with all your stuff.
I'm like, this guy just wants to get it done.
Right.
But he has more respect for the judicial branch than these clowns, the Democrats, who have no integrity.
I mean, not for nothing. I mean, Trump's been in court for so long, just battling off one case after the next. He's probably got a lot of respect for the judicial system since he's kicking ass in all of them. So, I mean, he's probably got a lot of respect. He's in the courts all the time, that guy.
Listen, they're acting like hysterical children because they know that the gig is up. They know it. I mean, Carlos, you got to show some of the protests yesterday.
Oh, we'll show about the protests.
I can't understand why the Democrats are protesting this. Well, actually, I understand because they're evil. But
right.
Okay.
So let's show them walking the march down the street. Let's go clip 18.
As I turn down the audio, sorry about that. Another live event as we are taking a look out of Washington, D.C.
I have to say, their march isn't as big as usual.
No, it's pretty small.
I think it's because USAID is not there to pay everybody off.
It's true.
Because they used to pay a lot of protesters. And I've seen the receipts in New York City where they would hire people to actually go and protest for them.
Well, Coach, I think honestly what it is people are waking up because they're seeing what's actually going on. And the reason why they're seeing what's actually going on is because there's an end to the censorship.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about that for months. We've been talking about this for a long time. The end of the censorship. Stop censoring the media. Stop censoring what people are seeing. Let people see what's actually going on. So what are the Democrats doing? They're getting scared. They're like, crap, people are seeing what's actually going on. We need to change the narrative. We got to go back to shutting people down and stop people from delivering this information and quiet them. And what are we going to do? So what do they just come out right and say it? We're for censorship. Let's go clip 19.
This is a good one.
Look, let me tell you something. I'll take a bit of umbrage here. I'll speak on behalf of my colleagues. I think I can say we are all willing to work with anyone who's serious about doing the work of censoring the American people and advancing progress. But they are not serious.
Censor the American people for the sake of progress.
I just can't believe it. They come right out and say it because they're so frustrated.
Yeah, they're like, we're just blatant. Yeah, we want to shut everybody down, and you're going to listen to exactly what we're going to say.
Well, even Elizabeth Warren was like, she was ranting and raving, and she goes, nowhere in the Constitution does it say that the American people have a right to know how their money is being spent. What?
Yeah, it's
like, what is wrong with
crazy.
you, Elizabeth Warren? What is wrong with you, baldy congressperson?
Baldy
you can tell we grew up going to
congressperson.
the same public school. Let me tell you something.
It's true.
Let me tell you something. I am all for censorship. But what I found so funny was that other video. You have to play this woman who's so beautiful with her words that she describes why she doesn't like what Donald Trump is doing so eloquently.
Yes, perfect. So let's go clip 21.
I've been told I have 30 seconds, so I am going to tell you that we do have to, I don't swear in public very well, but we have to fuck Trump.
Liberal women finally admit it. We knew it. We knew it. All right, well, you're going to have to sign a non-disclosure agreement. 'Cause you don't look like the type of lady that'll keep things in the bed.
We gotta fuck Trump.
So hilarious, though.
Yeah.
You have to admit that is so funny.
It's just, oh God, I can't believe that that's.
But you know what? Nothing unites people better than music.
Of course, no, of course,
like,
yes.
You know, when I was young,
We
it
Are
was
the
like,
World.
Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together and try to love one another right now. So, you know, that's from the hippies. My father was a hippie. So let's see. At least they're going to try to bring everybody together with song.
All right, let's see the song
Let's
here.
hear the song they were
clip
singing.
22.
This is such a funny.
Oh my God.
What the hell was that?
I mean, well written. Well, it was rhyming a little bit there.
That
You got
was
a little
a song
flow.
full of hate.
His song total full
That
of
was
hate.
a
Yeah.
song full of hate.
It was full of a lot of things, Coach. It's full of a lot
off
of
key
things.
too. That singing
It was very
not
off
good
key.
at all.
It sounded worse than, like, you know. I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna take it back. We'll just
Well,
forget that.
listen, you got to look at the deeds.
You got to look at the deeds.
Faith without deeds is meaningless. Okay? That's
Okay.
in the Bible. These people, they're pure evil. And you are going to see exactly what they've been doing. You're going to feel it in your spirit and know that it's not for the good of the American people or the international community. The Democrats have replaced God with politics. They like to play God. But you're going to see that what they're doing is evil, okay?
Tell them, Coach.
They're not God, and the lies are going to be exposed. Look at video 10, where a Democrat is trying to talk on the congressional floor, and look at how God intervenes and takes care of his stupid ass.
Oh, all right. Video 10.
Video number 10.
Don't worry, no one on the Republican side in the House and Senate who control both the House and Senate is going to speak up and challenge us.
I mean, this is just crazy. And it's just pure silence for like 40 seconds. Like, it's really, it's
Carlos, I felt like that was biblical.
No,
I
like, that's
honestly felt
honestly,
like
like,
that
crazy.
was biblical. I was like, look at that.
Yeah, like that
Look
was
at
that was
that.
honestly nuts. Like that he just froze and just couldn't talk, couldn't move. Like it was
And they
nuts.
were
I was
like,
like,
oh,
what
it
the
was,
fuck?
It was from a medicine that he had he was talking fine in the beginning.
Talking
that
perfectly
was
fine.
God being like, shut the heck up.
Yeah.
Your days of running
Shut the
Congress
heck up.
are over. I know. I'm trying to like not use profanity.
Shut the heck up.
But the transparency will force their deeds to come out. The line will shine. The light is going to shine upon all their darkness.
Yep.
No more operating in the shadows. No one will stop it. This is God's plan. I believe the movement will keep growing and the American people will obey God and join the fight against tyranny. We will not be cowards. Our president wasn't when he took a bullet in the head because they were so desperate to stop him. They will be defeated and we will make America great again. Don't let them divide us.
They're going to have you speak at one of the rallies or something.
God's side and the other side. And everybody needs to stand up for America, and the American people need to become a nation that God can be proud of again.
Yeah.
We need to atone for our sins, Carlos, and that is what we need to do.
Get this lady on the stage at one of Trump's next rallies. I mean, for Christ's sake.
I tried to make the font bigger so I wouldn't need my glasses. I'm stumbling a little bit.
We gotta get you on the stage here. No, but it's true, and we're seeing the corruption start to, I think, unravel a lot, especially with DOGE. But even now with Homeland Security, I mean, Tom Homan discovering that they're trying to alert these illegals and alert these gangs that we're trying to get out of our country. They're like, oh, run, they're coming, and they're alerting them. It's like, come on, guys, we got to get these nasty people out of our country. We need to end this. I mean, let's go clip 11. He says it perfectly.
Please.
Where are these leaks coming from?
Well, look, we think it's coming from inside, and we know the first leak of Aurora is under current investigation. We think we identified that person. Under investigation right now. The California leak, Secretary Noem, she's correct. Some of the information we're receiving tends to lead toward the FBI. But I talked to the Deputy Attorney General all this weekend. They've opened up a criminal investigation, and they have promised that not only this person lose their job and lose their pension, they're going to go to jail. They're going to criminally prosecute. So we're all over it. We got the DHS IG investigating the first one. I have a pretty good idea what happened. Can't share a lot because it's under investigation, but the IG's opened up a criminal investigation on the second one. We're sending a strong message. It's just not, giving the bad guys a heads up so they can escape apprehension. Right? We're arresting, giving, the Venezuela gang a heads up so we can't arrest them. You're putting officers' lives at risk. It's only a matter of time if we walk into a place where there's going to be a bad guy doesn't care. He's going to be sitting and wait for the officers to show up and ambush him. This is not a game. So DHS and DOJ are connected at hip to hold these people responsible in a criminal fashion.
Perfect. Perfectly said, Tom.
That's what we need.
Well done, Tom.
We need people to go to jail, Carlos.
Yep.
We need people to go to jail.
People got to pay. You can't, just blatantly just disrespect the president. But again, the deep state, they feel like they could just do whatever they want. That's how they always felt, and that's how they feel now. But listen, we're done with that. We're going to the end. We're done with that crap.
And you know what? They're going to get fired. They're going to get fired. And now you're going to know how it feels. Because let me tell you,
jail.
Back during the whole economic crisis, they went after everybody in financial services, and it was disgusting.
Yep.
You should have seen the way that they hung out to dry everybody who worked at AIG. They were like, these are the evil bastards. It wasn't just AIG. That was the fall guy. It was people in the government. It was the rating agencies. There were so many people responsible for why our economy went in the toilet. But those people lost their jobs overnight. Yeah. I remember when the Justice Department went after Michael Milken. He used to work at this place. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of it. He was right across the street. Michael Milken. He was a famous guy. He did some bad things. The Department of Justice went after him. Drexel Burnham. That's the company in the 80s. So my mother worked right across the street at Standard & Poor's. Do you know she had PTSD from that?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, she saw everybody come out of Drexel Burnham with a box. They all got fired instantly that day. All of them.
Wow.
It happens in the private sector all the time. You hear about the massive layoffs when they ship the jobs over to China. And it's just so frustrating. So I'm going to cry for the people in the federal government who think that they don't even have to show up to work, who think that they don't have to listen to their boss, who think that they don't have to do their job properly, that they don't even categorize their expenses. Anybody who owns a business knows you have to categorize your expenses, okay?
Yeah,
you don't get to just pay stuff and not say where the money is going to, because the IRS would be up your ass. That's what would happen.
Yeah.
I'm serious. The IRS would be up your ass if you're like, oh, I didn't categorize any of my expenses.
Yeah.
No, but they think that they work for the government, so they're like the Teflon Don. They don't have to worry about anything. And you know what? A reckoning is coming.
A reckoning is coming, Coach.
A reckoning is coming, and we're going to atone for our sins. Those people are going to pay for what they've done, and we are not going to be spending billions of dollars stealing it from the American taxpayer to do dirty things overseas. Those days are over.
Well, speaking about things being over and atoning for our sins and rebuilding from some of the horror that has happened over the last couple of years here, the King of Jordan came to town to talk to President Trump, the Jordan the country. For those who don't know, idiots. The King of Jordan came to talk with President Trump and talk about the Middle East, and he's very, very excited about the future with President Trump. He said President Trump is the guy that will bring stability, bring peace and prosperity to all of us in the region. Said it perfectly. Let's show the King of Jordan real quick.
Sure.
Let's go clip 12.
Mr. President, I truly believe that with all the challenges that we have in the Middle East, that I finally see somebody that can take us across the finish line to bring stability, peace, and prosperity to all of us in the region. And it is, I think, our collective responsibility in the Middle East to continue to work with you, to support you, to achieve those lofty goals. So I'm very delighted to be here. And as you said, sir, we've got some very interesting discussions ahead of us.
Very good. Very good. Thank you very much.
Very good. Very good. We're ready. We're ready. People are getting on board. Get on board, ladies and gentlemen. I've been saying it for weeks. Get on board. Now is the time.
You know what's my favorite part? Is that they said, well, what if the Gazans don't want to leave? And Trump goes, oh, they're going to want to leave because they're going to want something beautiful. And then they go, well, by whose authority do you think you can just do that? He goes, the authority of the United States of America. And I loved it. I loved when he said it, by the authority. Because it's like, on whose authority do we do anything?
Right.
On whose authority do we do anything? Use your head, people. Me, Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, that's my authority.
Show that cross one more time.
Jesus Christ. Let me tell you, but who's the authority for these Democrats who are stealing, who are lying, who have no integrity? Who's their authority? But you know what? Trump is like, I am ready to bring peace to the world. Peace in the Middle East. The two-state solution doesn't work.
Yeah, the two-state solution has never worked. And they keep trying to jam it down our throat like, oh, Palestine, two-state. It's not going to work, guys. We've tried this for a long time, and it's never worked. You can't make peace with people who just don't want you there. So we need to, move them out, and we'll own that land, and we'll make it into a big, beautiful Trump property.
Well, Jordan agreed to accept 2,000 Palestinian children with medical issues immediately upon meeting with Trump.
Yep.
And Jordan's king also said neighboring Arab nations will soon meet to discuss the relocation of Palestinians out of Gaza. You know what that's called? Stone soup, honey. Remember what I was saying last week? Stone soup? Because they want peace. They want Gaza to become a beautiful place where people are not killing each other anymore. And if the nations can come together, God willing, there will be no more financing of these awful, they're not called jihadists. What are they called, Carlos? Martyrs? Right? That's what the Hezbollah,
Hezbollah, I don't know. They could be called a lot of things, to be honest. I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube and tell you what they're called. But I got to say, listen, it didn't look too happy was Netanyahu about all this stuff. He was pretty upset when Trump was like, actually, I'm just going to take that land. How about that? Kiss my ass.
Well, yeah, because let's be honest, the Israelis went in there, they flattened everything, and in the back of their heads, they're thinking we're taking over Gaza.
Right. We're gonna take that.
That's what Israel's thinking. So Trump, let's show Netanyahu's face, your buoy. What video is that?
That's the next clip. That's clip 13.
We have to show Netanyahu's face because he's like, this is news to me.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip.
Watch his body language here.
We'll do a job with it too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site. Level the site and get rid of the
He's like, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck?
Level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job, do something different.
He's like, wait, you're going to take care of these people?
It's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years. I'm hopeful that this ceasefire could be the beginning of a larger and more enduring peace that will end the bloodshed and killing once and for all. With the same goal in mind, my administration has been moving quickly to restore trust in the alliance and rebuild American strength throughout the region. And we've really done that. We're a respected nation.
We're a respected nation.
You could tell there was a time that he wanted to say, shut up, Trump.
Yeah.
Because
he was getting pissed off.
That wasn't Netanyahu's plan.
Yeah.
And peace, he's like, peace? I want to kill all these people. That's what I want to do. And Trump is trying to find a pathway to peace, like it or not.
He is trying to find a pathway to peace. I will say, though, God, I mean, listen, they better return those hostages. Let me tell you.
Oh, my gosh.
They better return those hostages because let me tell you, Trump also doesn't play. You're not going to disrespect Trump. This isn't Biden, where you're going to be like, what are you going to do, old man? Like, he'll go drop the mother of all bombs again, and he'll just flatten the Gaza Strip. And it'll be like, all right, now we're going to really take it. Now we'll rebuild it from rubble. Because he's not a softie. This isn't Biden where you can just disrespect him to his face. And it's like, what are you going to do about it? Like, he's going to be like, I'm going to kick your ass now. Because you had the ceasefire, you had the peace agreement, and you spat in my face. Now I got to kick your ass. That's what's coming. So return those hostages, guys. I mean, good luck.
Carlos, also the pen, my mother used to always say, the pen is mightier than the sword. So Trump is also not giving them all the USAID money that they're used to getting and all the corruption that goes on. Yeah. So for the first time, the Palestinian Authority signaled that it will drop its pay-for-slay program that rewards terrorist attacks to kill Israelis only if the U.S. restores aid. So how many of you guys knew about that? How many of you knew about the Palestinian Authority paying a martyrs fund that rewards terrorists for carrying attacks on Israelis? That's kind of sick shit. For carrying out attacks. I mean, let's be honest, that's sick shit. So do you really think that the two-state solution is gonna is an option? Like, I understand that what the Israelis didn't do isn't perfect. But the Palestinian authorities, they raise their kids to be martyrs and they become millionaires from it. Yeah. It's like a business. Right. So you're like, I'm going to, have this child and your job is to grow up and kill Jews and you're going to make the family rich one day. Yep. It's the truth. It's called the pay for slay. Yeah. It's a martyrs fund. But the Palestinian Authority said that it would change its system of payments to Palestinian prisoners convicted of terror attacks so the money would not be based on the attacks they committed, but on the socioeconomic status. That's what that's what the Israel's channel reported on
Israel's
12.
News.
But the senior sources in Ramallah said that in exchange for this concession, Palestinian leader Mahmoud, Abbas, is asking that the United States repeal the Taylor Force Act, which cuts financial aid to the Palestinian Authority until it ends its payments of terrorists and their families. Right. Abbas wants other sanctions lifted as well. You know the deep state, they thrive off of war. So let's see how they try to stop this one. The Biden administration broke the Taylor Force Act in 2021, passed by Congress in 2018, specifically to stop the Palestinian pay-for-slay terror funding program.
Trump's program.
Huh?
That was Trump who put that in 2018.
Right. Yeah. And then Biden went back in 2021 and started paying them off again.
Right. Military-industrial complex right there.
Since the Biden administration resumed payment to the Palestinian Authority, totaling $234 million in terror against Jews skyrocketed. Yep. And the terrorist salaries were raised. Mm-hmm. Okay? So this is what's going on. In total, terrorists received over $141 million. Actually, 142 if you round it up.
Yeah, so 140. Yeah, about 142 million dollars in Palestinian Media Watch found.
Pay for slay. Yep. So how could you say let's have a two-state solution where the people are neighbors and you get paid for killing Jews?
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Come on, it's not right. So Trump is trying to find a solution. Right. The Israelis are not going to win because they're not getting the Gaza Strip, but the Palestinians, they're not going to be living next door to the Israelis where they get paid for killing them. Yeah. I mean, you guys have to start looking at things honestly. Right. Okay? Mm-hmm. I mean, no side is perfect. But I have to say, I was really shocked that they had a pay-for-slay program and that you got paid for just killing Jews.
Honestly, it's that listen, I don't want to get too crazy, but I mean, it's true that the Jews are not very well liked in that region. Let's just say that. But, speaking about, finding solutions, Trump today, breaking news. Peace in Russia and Ukraine.
Yes, true story.
Talking to Putin, which I love the best line of the whole thing when I'm reading the articles about it, and guys, go read it online, was that he's like, yeah, I talked to just Putin, and then I would just call Zelensky and tell him what me and Putin were talking about. Like, that's the best part. It's like, we didn't even talk to Zelensky. Fuck that guy. I talked to Putin, and I was like, all right, here's what we're doing, Vladimir. So, get on board. Or like, Like, that was just the best part. Because Zelensky's just such a little bitch puppet. I hate that guy.
He's totally a puppet.
I hate that dude.
He's totally a puppet.
So
and it's
like,
obvious.
you know, he's like, I'm going to talk to Putin. We'll work this out. And you're just going to sign whatever paperwork I put in front of you. And we're going to call it a day.
Well,
that's what's up.
There was an interview on Tucker Carlson where they were talking about how the Ukrainians, they're so crooked that they would get weapons from us and then turn around and sell the weapons to the drug cartels in Mexico.
Yes.
And then he was saying that he was in the Swiss Alps, which he said is like one of the most expensive places in the whole world. And the richest Europeans were the Ukrainians. Because they're stealing all the money.
The Ukraine war has become such a massive money laundering bullshit war. It's so crap. I mean, for Christ's sake, the dude, he says he's fighting with his people. He's wearing like military clothes all the time. He doesn't have a scratch on his head. He's such a freaking asshole all the time. Like, he's such a prick. Like, I can't stand the people that are like all on board with this guy. It's so false. It's so fake. It's so clear right in front of your face how fake this is.
Absolutely.
It's such a fake war. And we just fund it and we just put all this money into it for crap.
Well, I wonder how many Democrats made money off of that. And they're so scared of Elon auditing the Treasury.
And then Zelensky, he's like, you know, he has a ton of money, but he's not even getting all the money that he's supposed to be getting.
No, he's not.
He's missing $100 billion. He's missing it. It's just gone. It's in thin air. God only knows where that money is. So just enough with this crap. Trump got on the phone with Putin, with the actual guy, with the man, and said, we're handling this business. We're done with this crap. I'll tell Zelensky how things are going to be going. And that's it. We're done with this bullshit, guys. It should be Trump, MAGA, done with the bullshit. That should be the fucking flag. Jesus Christ.
Well, a strong America
done
is
with
a
the
good
bullshit.
thing for the world.
Is what it should say. It's just so.
Oh my gosh! I was looking for the truth.
Nuts.
You ready for this? So I just had a lengthy and highly productive phone call with President Vladimir Putin of Russia. We discussed Ukraine, the Middle East, energy, artificial intelligence, the power of the dollar. Because you know he ain't happy with that that other thing they were trying to do.
Oh yeah.
And various other subjects. We both reflected on the great history of our nations. What do you think they were talking about?
Reflected on the great history of our
nations. We're like 200 years old. Russia's like 2,000 years old, but whatever.
Yeah, we'll talk about the great history.
And the fact that we fought so successfully together in World War II, remembering that Russia lost tens of millions of people, and we likewise lost so many. Like, what he's trying to do is come together.
It's like, not so different.
Yes. He's like, you know, he goes, President Putin even used my very strong campaign motto of common sense. That's it, because Trump invented common sense now.
He's not my best friend.
But I found that so
Your best
funny.
pals, Trump and
that
Putin.
he gets on the phone with him. They discuss everything like they're bros.
Yep.
And then he's like, all right, I want to make peace.
Right,
And then he
so
calls Zelensky.
let's get to the bottom line here.
Yeah.
How are we going to end this war? And I'll tell that little bitch how we're going to do things. That's what happened.
This Friday in Munich, VP J.D. Vance and the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, will lead the delegation to stop this ridiculous war.
J.D. Vance.
Total unnecessary death and destruction.
Yep.
God bless the people of Russia and Ukraine. That was what Trump said.
Mm-hmm.
God bless the people of Russia and Ukraine.
Putting an end to this. We're
There's
putting
God's
an
side.
end to this.
There's the other side.
Yeah.
It's time. It's time to wake up. And Zelensky offered Ukraine's rare earth to Trump.
Yes, the rare
He
minerals.
had a map.
The rare
He
minerals.
offered everything.
Yep.
You know, Putin ready for peace.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, Carlos, there's one of my favorite things in the Bible is the Sermon on the Mount.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that Jesus says is, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God.
Yeah.
So I love my fellow Americans. I love my liberal friends. I love my Democrats. I really need you guys to just stop and think for a minute.
Stop and think.
Whose side? The Ukrainians, the Democrats waving that flag. They said probably 1 million people have died in that war.
Of the
Honestly,
Ukraine and the Russia?
In the Ukraine war.
Yeah.
They're money laundering. All these evil things are happening. It's all evil.
Yeah.
And Trump is in office 27 days. He's ready to end this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whose side?
Not even a full month.
Like, just stop and pray and try to go see a therapist about your TDS. Okay?
TDS, Trump derangement syndrome.
Go see a therapist. Say, listen, I know even when this guy is doing something good, I still can't help but be angry with him. He's auditing to stop the stealing that's going on. I'm angry with him. He's trying to stop wars. I'm angry with him. Please go say a prayer. Maybe get an exorcism. I don't know what'll help.
Do whatever you need to do.
But you really have to start seeing what's right in front of you.
Yeah.
You have to.
Amen, Coach.
I mean, I'm serious. So I prayed a lot before the show, and I just really hope that you guys understand that I'm here because I really want you to understand, like, sometimes there is a right side. There's a wrong side and there's a right side. And I really, Trump is on the right side.
He's on the right side,
sorry.
Coach. He's on the right side. Well, you know who wasn't on the right side, or who was on the right side, to be honest, fuck Drake, was Kendrick Lamar. He had quite the performance at the Super Bowl halftime show.
I have to be honest with you. I thought it was so boring.
Yeah, well, I've noticed that a lot with the generation of your age and the people of your age. They weren't a big fan of the Kendrick Lamar stuff.
I thought it was so boring. The only thing that caught my attention is when he called Drake a pedophile.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's
said,
a great
wow,
song.
Somebody's talking the truth.
I mean, I gotta say,
that was the only thing.
The performance was pretty boring, and until the end when they got to Not Like Us, the Kendrick's big song, and but it was great when he looked right in the camera and he was like, "Hey, Drake," like I was like, I love that. I was like, "That's right." Look right at him. And then the crap symbolism with Uncle Sam too. I know they were trying to get like some symbolism or whatever. I was like, come on.
I could care less. But you know what? My husband was all upset was about Serena Williams.
That upset me too.
He wasn't happy.
Listen, you cannot. If you're a married woman with 2 kids, you cannot get on stage and crip walk dance because to get at your ex from years ago. Like, come on. Like, you're an adult now. Like, you have 2 kids. You're a role model. You're rich as shit. Like, come on. Like, just be done. Who cares?
I
Let
totally
it go.
agree with you.
Let it go.
You know, like, because my husband said, were they married? And I said, no, like, they were just dating. And he goes, you don't do that.
Yeah, you don't do that.
You don't go after an ex that you were just dating and start dragging them on. He's like, she should be classier and above that.
100%.
So that was the only thing that, you know, my husband found a little upsetting about it. But honestly, I thought it was a pretty boring halftime show. But some people said that it was great, so who knows?
Overall, though, the game was just so boring. It makes me sick. The Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl champs, fucking want to die.
Well, you know what I enjoyed was watching Taylor Swift getting booed.
No, I didn't enjoy that.
He's a big Swiftie. Now, I wanted to ask you, why did she get booed? Do you think it's from the Justin Baldoni scandal?
Oh, the Justin Baldoni scandal? You think that's what it was? I don't know about that.
Candace Owens, she is dogging Taylor Swift, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds. You cannot turn onto that podcast without hearing about how much she hates them.
Yeah.
And she swears it's for that. My husband laughed. He said, no, it's because the stadium was full of Eagle fans.
Yeah, it was because the stadium was full of Eagle fans, to be honest. Because she's a sellout. I think she was originally like from like the Philadelphia area.
That's what he said.
And she grew up an Eagle fan, and then she's a sellout now. She's a sellout. She's with Travis Kelce. Which, I mean, listen, you're in the relationship with the star of the team. Like, you gotta fucking support the other team. You can't root for the Eagles. Like, your husband, soon to be husband, is on the other team. Like, you gotta root for him.
I totally agree with you. I agree with you, but my husband said that's why she got booed. It was full of Eagle fans, and so I have to agree with him.
Let me tell you, the stands. It was like 90-10 Eagle fans.
Yeah,
like it was all Eagle fans in New Orleans. Like Philadelphia just picked up and just moved down there.
Well, how many times can you afford going to the Super Bowl?
Yeah,
I can't afford to go to the Super Bowl every year. And if your team's going every year, at some point you have to say, "Honey, we have to watch it at home. We don't have $10,000 to go to the Super Bowl or whatever it costs."
100%.
You know?
No, it is true.
But there was one very disturbing thing that happened.
This was really disturbing. I think it was before Super Bowl too.
Didn't Kanye West take out a commercial?
He took out a commercial for the Super Bowl. Yeah, he did.
And you go to the site where he's selling merch.
This is crazy.
And it was a swastika.
Yeah,
shirt.
show the picture. Show the picture, you buoy, of the shirt that I airdropped to you.
I mean, why would you do that?
Yeah. I mean, this was just unbelievable. And the tweets were crazy town too. We have to go through the tweets,
but this was really disturbing.
Yeah, look. So this is the shirt that he was selling on his website. Mm-hmm. Like, look at that shit. Like, this is just unbelievable.
What's wrong with Kanye? He's really lost his mind between the naked wife on the runway. He completely
lost his mind.
And now the shirt.
I mean, having his wife just full on naked, and then she even tweeted like she's like worried about him or whatever. Like, it's crazy town, and the list of tweets too is just like insanity, man. Let's go clip 17. This is just a list of all these tweets. And it's just crazy. Like, look at all these different tweets that he has, like, that are just nuts. It's literally one after the next. It's just crazy tweets. Trying to read. Try to read one out loud, but I just can't.
Didn't he close his account after this?
I don't think he closed his account.
It's still there?
At the end of the thing, he like went on like a rant for like a full day, just like tweeting like bullshit, like just horrible things. And then at the end, he was like, "Oh, this was just a social experiment," which is like crap. Like it's like the guy is just like mentally just crazy.
I did hear that he said he wanted to see if he was going to be censored.
No, this is just
Elon
nuts.
really meant that
This
he
is
wasn't
honestly
censoring
just
people.
crazy town. I'm telling you, this is just like horrible like behavior.
Keep Kanye off the New York City subway, please.
Yeah, get this guy. Get this guy.
If he walked into a train
man.
car and started saying what he was
Poor
tweeting,
Yee too,
we don't be scared.
Kanye is so talented, so good, and just such a horrible person. Now I don't know what the fuck happened. I guess when you lose Kim Kardashian, just went downhill after that. I guess I don't know.
Listen, mental illness is a real thing.
Yeah. 100%.
It's a real problem, and maybe we should say a prayer for him and pray for everybody who has mental illness problems. And then maybe instead of the money being mismanaged and stolen, we can start investing into mental health in this country.
Right.
Wouldn't that be a nice thing?
That's what we got to do.
Right?
But Coach, listen, we went through, had a hell of an amount of topics to talk about tonight. We had so many things.
Well, that's because we're trying to keep up with Trump, and we only got.
I mean, look how thick these papers have become.
Well,
these things are massive.
I had to make the writing bigger. I have trouble seeing.
But yeah.
It was a great show.
It was a great show as always, guys. And we appreciate everybody who hung out and watched with us and was hanging out with us tonight. Guys, oh my goodness. Like and subscribe on the bottom. If you're watching on YouTube right now, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on Rumble, hit that like button. Hit that follow button. And make sure all across the board you're hitting that share button. Share. Make sure you're following us on our socials. TikTok, Instagram, X. We're everywhere. Truth Social now. Follow us there if you guys are on the Truth Social action. We're everywhere. Make sure you guys follow our accounts. Make sure you guys are liking our stuff. Make sure you guys are sharing, getting us out there. Come on, join the show, guys. We post a link every week. If you want to join the show, send us stuff you want to talk about. Make sure you do that as well. But as always, we appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys here back again next week, next Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern time, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook. Coach, any last words before we wrap it up here?
Make the right play.
Make the right play. Make sure you guys follow us. We'll see you guys back here next week. Same time, same place. Love you guys. Stay safe.
Bye. Bye, you booey.